So, good afternoon, everyone. And today's lecture is based on unit number 2. That unit number 2 will be covered. Let me open. Unit number 2 has concentrated on modern symmetric key cryptography. Okay. It is completely based on modern key. Mathematics already we have discussed. We have discussed almost all everything regarding to mathematics. So if situation demands, I will go ahead and I will review the mathematics further. So look at this. Modern introduction to modern symmetric key ciphers. So here also we have supposed to introduce some number of mathematics. It is not directly mathematics. But, so here we are supposed to give modern symmetric key ciphers, and here also a very less kind of the mathematics could be included here. How this could be included and what are the points to be remembered here? These are very important because data encryption standard DES and advanced encryption standard, so AES and Blowfish. These are the three different kinds of algorithms which are used to develop this symmetric encryption here. These three algorithms are supposed to be used. What we are going to discuss right now will be used here. So here two different types of things are available here. Let me open and let me go through the lecture today. So what are the modern symmetric key ciphers? What exactly this one here? Previously, what we have discussed, so all discussions have been made on characters. Let us consider. So Caesar cipher. Caesar cipher is always trying to manipulate the characters. So if A will be given and the key will be 3, instead of A we have to write, Caesar has write D and so on and so forth. So based on the transposition, position of a particular character will be took place, and based on that the cipher text will be gets prepared and it will be sent to the recipient, and recipient will be take decryption operation based on the key which we have given by the sender has given. So like that it could be done. So character by character, what you call cipher text is being prepared by the, so previously what we have discussed, everything is based on that only. But right now, so what we are supposed to do, we are not trying to perform so-called operations on characters or bytes. We are preparing everything on bits. We are preparing the things on bits, and these bits also be in terms of blocks or in terms of series of bits will be taken into consideration. Not exactly 8 bits, so it could be more than 64 or 128 or 256 and so on and so forth. Okay, minimum, so 4 bytes will be taken into consideration. So not exactly 4, 8 bytes will be taken into consideration. 8 bytes will be considered as a single block, and that block of information will be applied for cryptography encryption algorithm, and that encryption algorithm can be prepared so-called cipher text, and that cipher text will be sent to your recipient to receive properly here. So here, however, whatever the specification you have to discuss here, it will be always in terms of application of cryptography will be in terms of bits, not in bytes, okay, or characters. So that is what you need to remember here. And every time encryption or decryption could be done on zeros and ones, rather ABCD. ABCD in the sense characters, zeros, ones in the sense bits here. Okay, so every character does have it's a sequence of bits. So sequence of bits in the sense 8 sequence of bits will be considered as 1 byte, and 1 byte will be considered as a single character in terms of ASCII character set. So previously what we have discussed, everything is based on only, so character transposition will be taken into consideration. Now it has been taken into consideration as a bit, so operations here, and encryption could be done on a block of n-bit block of plain text, and decryption could also be done n-bit block of so ciphertext. Okay, plain text will be so taken into consideration, and it will be apply for encrypted algorithm, and it will be give some input to encrypted algorithm so that you could get ciphertext, and ciphertext will be give as input to the so decryption algorithm. Obviously you could get plain text back. So however, whatever the procedure it might be, so here input will be, so n bit block will be taken as input as far as the plain text, and the encryption algorithm could be get same, yeah, same length or same block of information as ciphertext here. So here, as far as this particular point of view, what next input for that particular encryption or decryption is, so key. So here key size will be k bit. Thereby, here we have taken in the previous algorithms what Caesar cipher or rail fencing, whatever the algorithms we have discussed so far. So thereby we have taken just integer. One integer has taken. Sometimes there is no key also. One integer has taken based on the integer. So you have to transfer or transposition the specific character so that we could get the ciphertext, and the reverse operation will be done by using the same key. We'll get the plain text back. But here, so the bit key size will be k bit. So number of bits within the key will be k bits, and it could be utilized for both encryption or decryption algorithms. Okay, and this encryption or decryption algorithm can be operated on the same secret key. Here also we have called it as a secret key. Symmetric key always uses only secret key. Only one key can be used to perform encryption or decryption here. Only single key can be used to perform encryption or decryption, so that it is called as a symmetric cipher or symmetric key cipher here. So this secret key, so the channel which we have to use it to share this secret key is very important in symmetric ciphers here. However, so plain text must be n-bit block, and so key must be k-bit block. Okay, based on that we have to perform the so encryption or a decryption here. So here we need to remember, if your message is not exactly equal to n bits, what shall we have to do? So for example, so I'd like to consider 64 bit will be the block size, for example. So plain text block size will be 64 bits. But whatever I have prepared, that is not exactly 64. That is having only some 54 bits are there in my okay, not exactly 54. 32 bits are there, because always in terms of in terms of 2 powers only, it must be available. The data must be available in terms of 2 powers only, because each character could be occupy only 8 bits in space, so that only in terms of 2 powers only. So 32 bit block will be there. I mean, prepared message will be only 32 bit. What about remaining 32 bit? In the sense, you must be paired with your own data. So with your own data, that data will be common to all different kinds of encryption or decryption algorithms in symmetric key ciphers. Okay, that padding must be done so with a specific sequence of characters or specific sequence of bits here. Normally, if you consider if your data will be so more than n bits, if your data will be more than n bits, what shall this particular point of view is? So my block size is 64 again here, and what actually I have prepared at this point, so the data size will be, I mean, whatever the message I have prepared, the data size will be, let me say some, so 96 bytes. For example, it is 96 bytes. 64 plus 64 will be equal to 128, and some information 32 bits have shortage here. So you need to add your own data. I mean your own sequence of zeros ones as a pad to the second point of view. Let me consider here. So this is totally 96 bytes. For example, this totally it is 96 bytes. So as far as your algorithm is concerned, so 64 bytes will be, sorry, bits will be considered as one block. Yes, up to this, it is first block, block number one. And second block does have only 32 bytes. So 32 bits. What about remaining 32 bits? You have to add some kind of pad here. Some padding will be add here. And now it will be becomes full 64 bits in size, so that it will be considered as block number two. So, okay, you have to perform the encryption operation on block number one for one time, and the encryption operation on block number two is second time. Whatever the key you have to use to so apply blocking, encryption or decryption on these two blocks will be same. So, for example, some ABC is the key, private key, which is used to encrypt this particular block one, in the sense same ABC can be used to encrypt this block two also. Whereas in decryption, ABC can be used to decrypt this block one, in the sense same ABC, same key can be used to perform decryption on block two also. So something like that, it is going to be added here. So in this way, you have to prepare your blocks, and so that if your block size will be not satisfied, then you have to pad some kind of some sequence of bits. A bad pattern of bits will be taken by consideration of your one at your one, and that could be added here. Normal values will be either 64 bytes or 128 or 512 bytes. So 12 bits here. Most of the cases, 64 bits are going to be taken into consideration. DES, so data encryption standard, will be works on only 64 bits. A blowfish could be works on so this particular thing 128, and AES will be worked on 128 and 512 bits simultaneously. However, DES is being followed by many people, so we are habituated to done only on 64 bits here. Okay, so these are the very important points to be remembered. So I'd like to remind you again. So symmetric key, modern symmetric key ciphers are always performed based on the block sizes. Okay, block size will be, just I have revealed to you, that is either 64 bits or 128 bits, or so it is this 512 bits. However, so n might be equal to either 64, 128 or 512, and the k bit size key will be taken into consideration. Normally the key size will be 32 bits, otherwise 64 bits. So only these two sizes will be available to perform encryption or decryption in terms of modern symmetric key ciphers here. So these are the 2 points you need to remember. Okay, and followed by what are the components we are supposed to use to perform modern block ciphers here. So components are, we are trying to utilize, so there are 2 to 3 different kinds of operations. Operation number 1 is diffusion, and operation number 2 will be confusion. I will let you know what is diffusion and what is confusion probably by tomorrow. And today, major components will be, so permutation boxes or P boxes and S boxes. Only we would like to discuss only P boxes today, because a huge number of P boxes are available, so to use in either encryption or decryption kind of process here. Okay, so we are supposed to discuss about P boxes today, and what kind of P boxes are available, and what are the different kinds of permutations which could be done by P boxes will be discussed today here. And later in the next class, we will discuss about S boxes, and then followed by what is confusion and what is diffusion. 2 different types of operations could be used in AES, DES, and blowfish. Okay. However, P box in the sense, it is a permutation box. So permutations and combinations, you are aware of this particular concept in mathematics. For example, So 1 and 2, 3 will be given to you. You may be prepared huge number of, these three digits will be given to you. Then you could prepare huge number of, so numbers could be prepared here. One combination will be 1, 2, 3, 123. Second combination will be so 2, 1, 3. Third combination will be so 3, 2, or 2, 3, 1. Fourth combination will be let me consider 3, 2, 3, 1, 2. Something like this. You have to prepare many number of combinations here. So this is called as a permutation and combinations. So within this one, how many number of permutations will be prepared if number of input will be equal to n? In the sense, n factorial of permutations and combinations will be gets prepared by you. The same concept can be used in P boxes also. So let me repeat, let me reiterate the same thing here. If you have n will be equal to three numbers, so number 1, 1, number 2, 2, number 3, 3. If you are supposed to give something like this, otherwise you could also take so three letters A, B, C will be taken into consideration. You could able to prepare A, B, C is one combination. So B, C, A is another combination. So BAC is another combination, and so on and so forth. You can prepare as much as many number of combinations here. So this kind of permutation will be put into place by P boxes here. So how many these kind of combinations can be prepared by you here is based on the number of digits or based on the number of characters which we have. For example, n number of characters will be there with you. Then you are supposed to, you are expected to prepare the n factorial number of so permutations and the combinations are took place here. Okay, so look at, let us say this one here. So as far as let me elaborate this one for a while, because you may be read rather than me. Okay, so these are as far as P boxes are being concerned. P boxes can be transposes bits based on the requirements of the crypto systems, and how this could be done, how this transposition could be done here, how this could be done here. There are three different types of P boxes are there. So straight P boxes and expansion P boxes and compression P boxes. There are three different types of so P boxes are available. Straight in the sense you could able to so straightly connected the number of inputs to number of outputs. Expansion in the sense, straight in the sense number of inputs will be n, and you may have outputs also n. Expansion in the sense number of inputs will be n, and you may be have number of outputs as m will be greater than n, m will be always greater than n. Whereas so compression P boxes in the sense number of inputs will be equal to n, and you could have some P number of what do you call outputs will be there, where P will be less than m. Okay, n will be equal to 5, P will be equal to 3, something like this in terms of a compression. Whereas in expansion, n will be equal to 3, m will be equal to 5. Number of outputs will be greater than the inputs. Number of in compression, number of inputs will be greater than the number of outputs here. Okay, so something like this. We have three different types of permutation boxes are available, and how these could be processed. Let us have a look here. So let us have a look. So straight P boxes. How these straight P boxes will be. Straight P boxes will be, as I just quoted, n number of inputs will be there and n number of outputs as well. Okay, number of inputs will be 3, and you have number of outputs as 3 only. So A, B, C will be given as inputs. A, B, C will be given as inputs. So there might be having some kind of combinations, but output must be only 3. Either it may be CAB or it may be so BAC, something like this. Number of inputs will be 3, and outputs also be, output lines also be 3. Output lines also be 3. So that is why, so it is called as a straight permutation boxes. Okay, here there are n number of inputs will be there, then n factorial number of possible mappings will be happening here. Okay, n factorial number of possible mappings could be happened here. So let us see one of them here. So let us see. So 5 by 5 straight P box, how it could be looks like. So let us see here. For example, this is the P box, and you do have 5 input boxes, something like this. So five inputs will be seen something like this, and this will be connected to 5 outputs also. Then how the connections could be happen here? Let us have a look here. One will be redirected to 4, and 2 will be redirected to 1, and 3 will be redirected to 5. 4 will be redirected to 3, and 5 will be redirected to 2 here. This is one combination, not exactly always, but one kind of combination here. So input will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and output must be 2, comma 5, comma 4, comma 1, comma 3. Okay, look at this. So here 5 input lines are available here. Number of input lines will be 5, and inputs will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Of course, not exactly the numbers. You could also have characters A, B, C, D, E, something like this. You can take or 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 will be better when compared to A, B, C, D. So that is why I have taken as input 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, something like that. So input will be given by me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as input. Then how? Based on the internal architecture, internal connections which have made by this one. So how this could be here? So one will be taken from. So output of 1 will be taken from 2 second input of input, and 2 will be taken from 5th, and 3 will be taken from 4, and so 4 will be taken from 1. So 5 will be taken from 3. So finally, you could get this particular combination. This particular combination based on this particular arrangement here. You maybe change the arrangement, so you could perform. So here, as for the point number 2, you could remember this particular point here. So number of inputs will be equal to 5. So 5 factorial. 5 factorial in the sense 120. So you could able to perform 120 different or less than or equal to 120 different kinds of permutations will be gets prepared by. So this P box here, straight P box here, because number of inputs will be equal to so here 5. So out of them, this is one of the combinations which I have taken into consideration. You could also prepare at your own. I'll give you some example 3 by 3 because it is very easy. So number of inputs will be equal to 3 in the sense 3 factorial will be equal to, there are 6 possible, 3 into 2 into 1. So 3 twos are 6. There are 6 possible combinations will be gets available if you have 3 inputs. Let me give you in the next slide. Look at this. 3 by 3 will be taken into consideration. Look at this. This is 1. So 1 will be directed to 1, 2 will be directed to 2, 3 will be directed to 3 directly. Now one more combination. 1 will be directed to 2, 2 will be directed to 1, and 3 as it is. And one more combination. 1 to 3, 3 to 1, and 2 as it is. And then next combination. 1 to 1, 2 to 3, so 3 to 2. Next combination. So 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 1. Next combination. So 1 to 3 and 2 to 1 and 3 to 2. So these are 6 different types of combinations. You could not achieve more than these because the number of inputs are 3, and you could get only 3 factorial number of permutations here, or permutations and combinations here, so that you could get something like this. So for your convenience, based on your crypto system, you can use any one of these, not exactly all, any one of these. For example, if I would use this particular combination for my crypto system in terms of decryption, I mean plain text to cipher text preparation, I am supposed to use this one in the sense. At encryption also, you have to use the same kind of combination. Otherwise, if you use some other combination, obviously your plain text could not be get back. Okay. So I repeat one more time. For our decryption point of view, if you use so this particular kind of a combination here, so actually input will be, let me eliminate this one. Let me clear off this one. Then you could okay. So look at this. What is the input and what is the output here? Input is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So input is 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 3, something like this. All inputs, outputs also be written by me here. For example, if you take for a decryption process, if you take this particular kind of combination for your decryption, you must use the same kind of combination in terms of decryption also. If you are supposed to use this one for encryption, decryption also will be used the same. Otherwise, you maybe get some other message other than your actual plain text. So any one of these combinations can be used as the private key in our operations here. However, here you need to remember one thing here. So it is a keyless kind of, although P box can be used a particular key, actually it is a keyless operation here. Keyless operation here in the sense, if you want to develop this one using any hardware, for example, I would like to use this particular thing as my key in the sense, if I would design a hardware, something like this, hardware might be 1 will be wired to 2, and 2 will be wired to 1, and 3 will be wired to 3. So therefore, that hardware cannot be so modified every time. So that must be prepared and it is fixed. So in terms of doing in terms of hardware, whereas in software you are also perform same kind of a permutation rule which is being mapped and which is being followed here. As for the software kind of implementation, yes, you can change the pattern. There is no problem. But if you are supposed to use the same kind of thing in terms of hardware, it could not be changed continuously. It is highly impossible to change here. Okay. However, the mappings will be predefined. Okay, they are predefined and they are supposed to. If you prepare any ciphertext by using such kind of S boxes, and they will send to your friend through unsecured channel. So middleware, in the meanwhile, anybody will be captured your data, and how many number of combinations are here? 6 combinations are there. I will go ahead and brute force could be gets operated. So first combination you could not get, second combination you could not get, third combination yes you could get, something like the brute force will be gets operated here, so that these can be used. So this straight P boxes or P boxes can be used in the middle level operations only, but not the final key. Okay. However, that is not important for us at this point of view. Now the combinations will be, these are the combinations, 64-bit permutation combination will be took place here. So here let us consider this is 1, so and so on and so forth, this is 64, this will be 64. So your input 1 will be redirected to 58th output place, and your input 7 will be redirected to 64 output point here. Okay, that is what the point here. So if you want to observe, if you keenly observe this one, so try to remember these only. So let us consider these values here, and try to remind or memorize only these points here. Okay, if you observe this one, this side, if you go ahead up to 2, you may be apply with -8, 58 -8, 50, 50 -8, 42, 42 -8, 34, 34 -8, 26, and so on and so forth. From here also, you will perform the same operation here. So that is -8 here. Okay, and then here, so up to this point, up to this particular point here, so +4 could be gets operated, and here +4 could be gets operated here. If you observe, so both lines, so the same things could be depicted to you. I will erase everything and I will write one more time. So from here to here, so -8 will be taken, and from here to here, so -8 will be taken here, and in this direction, if you consider, so +4 will be taken into consideration here. +4 will be taken into consideration here. If you observe very carefully, it will be seen in such a fashion. Okay. However, okay, compression P boxes, how these could be available. Number of inputs will be here, number of inputs will be n, and number of outputs will be m, where m is always less than n. So number of n will be equal to, as I said just before, n will be equal to 5 in the sense, m will be equal to less than 5, let me say that is 3. For example, it is 3. Okay. So here also some number of inputs will be blocked and they are not supposed to reach to the outputs. They could not be sent to the output cell. Look at this. Look at the diagram here. Total number of inputs will be 5 and total number of outputs will be 3 here. and how these could be connected. 1 will be connected to 1, and the 3 will be connected to 2, and 5 will be connected to 3. And 2 and 4, these two will be so blocked and they could not be reached to the output here. Okay, so in this fashion, you could have your so compression P boxes will be there. If one stage will be have a huge number of bits, and subsequent state might be required very less in number of outputs in the sense, then compression P boxes will be used. Okay, the usage of compression P boxes will be, so look at this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 will be taken into consideration as input, and output will be this one here. Where exactly you are supposed to use? So you are supposed to use these. Look at this, 32 by 24 permutation box here. Also, let me explain. Let me explain this one. So you could see this is very important point. Compression boxes are used when we need to permit bits and at the same time decrease in number of bits for the next state. Then we have to use this compression P boxes here. Okay, so for one particular state, 5 bits are required, and the subsequent state might be required only so 3 bits. Then compression P boxes will be used to reduce the number of bits from one state to another state here. So that is why compression P boxes are used here. Then how could you so identify the points will be here in the sense. So 7, 8, 9, 15, 16, 23, 24, and 25 have been blocked for 32 number of inputs, and you could able to produce only 24. So look at this. So the operation will be took place like this: 1, 2, 3, followed by it will be take second row, 4, 5, 6, followed by 7, 8, 9 has been blocked, and 10, 11, 12, and then followed by so here 13, 14, 15, 16 are blocked, and 17. After 17, it directly goes to this area. So let me take another color. You could understand very easily. So 18, 19, 20, 18, 19, 20, and it will be goes to first row. 21, 22, 23, 24, and 25 are blocked. 26, 27, 28, 29 have been taken into consideration here. Okay, it could be seams in such a fashion. Okay, it could be seams in such a fashion. So like this, it could be seams in such a fashion here, something like this. So here, and up to this moment, it has been covered. Okay, you need to remember what kind of inputs are blocked. That elements must be, that values must be remembered by you. Then it is very easy to draw something like this here. Okay, so 32 inputs have been given, and you may be produced only 24 as output here. Okay, so this is used to, if one state will be having huge number of inputs, and the second state might be required a very lesser number of outputs, then compression P boxes will be used here. So that is the uses of compression P boxes here. And then followed by expansion. Number of inputs will be, here also number of inputs will be n, and number of outputs will be m, where m is always greater than, outputs must be always greater than the inputs here. So this is what we would like to consider as a compression, expansion. And these expansions will be seen like this. Let us see. Number of inputs will be 3 here. Number of inputs will be 3, and the number of outputs will be more than. So this is m, which is very huge. And look at this, how the mapping will be happen. 1 will be mapped to 1 and 4, and 2 will be mapped to 5, and 3 will be mapped to so 2 and 3. This is one kind of mapping, not exactly same, one kind of mapping. You can prepare your own mapping so that you could prepare that particular thing here. So here, same number of lines will be connected to huge number of so outputs here. So here 3 will be connected to 2 outputs, and 1 will be connected to two outputs, and 2 will be connected to one single output. Okay. In conversely, just before I have made one particular statement here. The statement is this is the statement: compression will be at one stage. You may have huge number of bits, and next state might be reduced number of outputs. In the sense, compression can be used. In converse, expansions can be used. In the previous state, number of inputs are less, and the next state, number of outputs is more. Then you have to use expansion P boxes. Okay, all these are used to. All these are you're supposed to use it to so make your ciphertext and make your ciphertext to plain text back. Okay, and then how expansion boxes will be. Look at this. 12 by 16 expansion boxes. How this could be happened here? Let us have a look here. Where is my cursor? Yeah. So 12 by 16 expansion boxes will be seen something like this here. Look at this. One will be repeated. One will be repeated for twice, and and 9 will be repeated. 9 will be repeated for twice, and 10 will be repeated. Not 10. One more thing. 12. 12. Sorry. 12 will be repeated for one more time here. Okay. So totally 12 inputs might be there, and 16 outputs will be get here. So in this way, you have to use these P boxes, permutation boxes, for preparing ciphertext, so plain text to ciphertext in encryption process, and ciphertext to plain text in terms of so decryption process. These can be used here. Okay, so this is today's class, and we'll continue with S boxes by tomorrow. And let me discuss S boxes by tomorrow, and day after tomorrow. Tomorrow S boxes followed by confusion and diffusion. And then day after tomorrow, let me start the first algorithm, DES, which is very, very important. You could get a question on DES in final examinations. Okay. And I don't know why today only 10 people have connected. I don't know why. Okay, Vishnu,